Today I'm going to install the Wii menu on my computer. Why, you may ask? Why would you possibly want to do that? And to that I answer, ha! It is one of the coolest operating systems of all time, bar none. So there would be nothing better than having it on my computer to use anytime I want. But this is going to be interesting, because the Wii OS isn't really made to run on anything but the Wii, or made to be used with anything but motion controls. By the end of this video, I want to have a full-on virtual Wii that can load disc games, WiiWare, and Homebrew. And the first step to getting there is figuring out how to actually install it. And for that, I'm going to use Dolphin emulator. Dolphin is an amazing program that lets you play Wii games on your computer, and it should allow us to run the menu as well. All I need to do to install the Wii menu is to hit Tools, then perform an online system update, and then pick a region. I'll go with the United States. And that should be it. It's a pretty simple process. But installing the menu is only half the battle. Unlike Windows or macOS, which are made to be used with a keyboard and a mouse, the Wii operating system is only made to work with motion controls. You can use Bluetooth to connect an actual Wii remote to your computer, but unless it's a Motion Plus Wii remote, you need a sensor bar to really use it. And putting a sensor bar on your desk is kind of a huge pain. So I'm going to use Joy-Cons, which are arguably the true successor to the Wiimote. They have a built-in gyroscope, a joystick, and tons of buttons. I've got the left Joy-Con for my Switch here, and if I hold down the pairing button, I can connect it to my Mac. Now, in Dolphin, I just have to set the keybinds and pass through the gyroscope. This is great. Now we have a modern Wii control scheme, and it works beautifully, which means it's time to set up the console. This is going to be a fairly run-of-the-mill Wii setup, so I'll speedrun through it. Language, English, obviously. Sensor bar, sure, below TV, why not? For some reason, the Wii is running at 30 FPS, which makes the audio really crispy and bad. Oh, I have low power mode on. That'll do it. There we go, 60 FPS. Date is May 31st, 2026. Pause, quick note here. I recorded this video a while ago, then canceled it, then decided it was probably worth finishing, so you're probably watching this in like July or something. The time is exactly 7 PM, so I'll go with 7:01. Widescreen, sure, why not? I'll name the Wii Wolf Byte, subscribe by the way. And we are located in the United States. Alright, my Wii should be all set up. Let's start it up. Look at that, we've got all the channels. The Me channel, the Photo channel, the Wii Shop channel, the Forecast channel, and the News channel. Very nice. Which one sounds the best to you? Comment below, let me know. I think my favorite is the Wii Shop channel. Now, I want to see if we can hack this thing. If you're unaware, there's a process called homebrewing, which is when you hack a game console to add features to it that it wasn't originally meant to have. These can include things like using custom apps, loading games from files, and using different controllers. The Wii is one of the easiest consoles to hack, and I'm curious if I can hack this virtual one. We start by exploiting the console using a file called Letterbomb, which is loaded through the Letters screen. To set it up, you go to the Letterbomb website, select your system menu version, which for me is 4.3U, and then put in the MAC address of your console, which is found in the settings. Once that's all done, we get to pick a wire to cut to defuse the bomb. I always go with blue. Now here's the weird part. This website generates a file that we can download, which would traditionally be placed on an SD card and inserted to the front of the Wii. But this Wii exists entirely inside my computer, so I can't use a physical SD card. Dolphin supports virtual cards, so in theory, I can just put this file in the SD sync folder, and restart the Wii. It's supposed to show up as a letter on the mail screen, but I'm not seeing it. Alright, as it turns out, I'm a little silly. The end goal of hacking a Wii is installing an app called the Homebrew channel, which lets you install your own apps and games. And the entire hacking process is just to overcome safeguards Nintendo put in the hardware. But since this is a virtual Wii, those safeguards aren't really there. So we can just go to the GitHub page for the Homebrew channel, and download the app as a WAD file. A WAD file is a Wii channel. Then, back in Dolphin, I can just hit Tools again, and click Install WAD. Now, if we boot it up, look at that, we have the Homebrew channel. Well, that's one question answered. Homebrewing a virtual Wii is possible. Not only did the Wii Homebrew developers make this amazing software, they also gave us an absolute banger as the channel music. I literally pulled this music up on YouTube and put it on loop in the background while I was writing the script for this video. It's the best. Want to see something else cool? If you hover your pointer over the bubbles, they pop. That is some peak attention to detail right there. As you can see, I have acquired many files. Most of them are channels to install, but I also got Wii Sports and Mario Sunshine, because I want to try loading regular games through the disk channel. Let's start with that. I'll start at the menu, then I should just be able to hit File, change Disk, and select my game. It should be in now. Come on. Come on. Look at that. It loads in just like if we had inserted an actual disk. Wii Sports, baby. But can we load a GameCube game? I'll go ahead and select Super Mario Sunshine, then we'll wait a little bit, and perfect. Not only have I created a virtual Wii, I've also created a virtual GameCube. Maybe I should go all the way and make a virtual Wii U. You know what, I'll save that for a future video. And by the way, all of this is running on an M1 MacBook Air. These things are surprisingly good at emulation. Now that disc games are working, let's try some WiiWare. I've gone ahead and downloaded Mega Man 10, Sonic 4, and Sudoku Challenge. I also got some regular channels. The food service channel, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, the internet channel, and the Wii user manual. It'll be interesting to see if any of them still work today, so I've gone ahead and installed all of them. Our main menu is definitely looking busier. Every channel file worked, except for the Wii instruction manual, which just straight up refused to install. Also, the food channel seemed to work fine, but it's just not showing up. I think the problem is that it only is made for Japanese Wiis, so our American system menu can't boot it up. That's a nice channel sound, I like it. Oh no, invalid write, the game probably would have crashed on real hardware. How about we just ignore that? Okay, it does it again. We'll ignore it again. And it keeps doing it. It's not doing the same error though, these are different memory offsets. Well, that's too bad, I guess I'll restart the console. Let's try Netflix instead. Okay, this one cannot be used. At least it didn't actually crash though. But we can't open the home menu, so we're basically soft locked. That's another restart. Also, the internet channel did the exact same thing. Ooh, secret new YouTube noise. And it doesn't work. I guess all the channels that rely on the internet are dead now. Which means it's time for Plan B, WiiWare games. The Sudoku game worked great, but it was really boring, so I cut it out of the video. Let's try Mega Man instead. I know nothing about this franchise, so this will be interesting. Capcom. I will name myself Byte. Wait, what? Okay, this is kind of weird. I was gonna go name myself Byte, like usual, but the D-pad is inverted. Oh, you know what? I bet that's because you hold the controller sideways to play WiiWare games. I should just be able to go in here and rotate my key map around. That's much better. Mega Man 10. Normal difficulty. We don't do easy mode here. I'll pick Blade Man, he looks cool. Oh, maybe these are like the 8 bosses we have to fight. I'll just do this first level, then we'll try out something else. This seems like a pretty normal platformer. You can jump, you can shoot, you can get demolished by these moving axes. Is axes plural? Axes? Yeah, we're gonna go with axes. Okay, that spider falls on you. Ha, not this time, spider. And jumping on him damages you anyway. That's cool. There's more axes! Alright, I have 1 hit point left. I cannot mess this up. Stealth jump this guy. Oh, we've almost got him. Oh. Well. I swear, I'm normally good at platformers. This isn't a tier list video, but if it was, I would put Mega Man in B tier. And now the part you've all been waiting for. It's Sonic time. Sega! I give the graphics an A tier. Pretty good graphics. I'll name myself Byte, of course. And we can start up the game. Splash Hill Zone? No. Where's Green Hill Zone? This is not the Sonic I'm used to. The game runs fine. It does aggressively chug sometimes, but it's not too bad. It's still completely playable. I cut the recording down a bit because this level is absurdly long, but I did make it to the end. I'm a lot better at Sonic than I am at Mega Man, I'll tell you that. Well, we've done it! I've checked off everything on my list, including playing Wii, GameCube, and WiiWare games, installing channels, and using Homebrew, which means I've achieved my goal of making a fully fledged virtual Wii, and also made a fool out of myself in Mega Man. Now that the video's over, I figure you'll probably want to go watch something else, but since you watched all the way to the end, you probably liked my video style. So I put 2 more of my videos on the screen. You'll probably like those too. That's all from me. I hope you have a really good day.